Hi and welcome to this week's video. In this video I show you how I finish off the fuel tank outlet side of life. We get a few little bits and pieces sorted out. As I said earlier, work, stop, play. It's extremely hot this week, so that's also slowed down progress, and we'll just see how we get on. So join me in the video. Okay, so I'm just going to round this this area here a bit. Start off with here where it's an external sort of curve. I'm going to use the block. Can just round it over. I'll carry on. I'll work my way through like that. So I'll show you the end product. So once I've gone over it with the 60 grit, I've just been cleaning it up now with 180 grit strapping. So strapping it same sort of way, and then just finishing it with a rub in the direction of the grain. I will be just marking down here and putting a slight step into this so I can put the ply down there, but I'll do that once I've turned the wing over. So effectively that's this bit done. It's just going to be a little bit of work on there on the other side. The other thing I've just been working on is a piece of 16th ply, which I've bored a hole and put a grommet through, which allows the fuel pipe just to pass through nice and easy, but I'll put the grommet in there so it doesn't get shattered, and that will fit between the rib caps there onto the geodetic structure and onto the vertical, be bonded onto there, so the fuel pipe coming from the outlet here goes through, come out, and will be just guided through there before it returns back to the position where the fuel tap will be. Okay, so I've got the fuel hose support in position. Hasn't got the grommet going through, but there it is on both sides. So another little job ticks off the list to do. Okay, so here is some of the bits I've prepared for the fabrication of the fuel tank outlet cover. Normally I make these bits out of ply, but in this case I've only got to make up a couple, so I'm doing it with MDF. So that's a cutout which is slightly longer. Well, it's the same size as this piece of wood here, just slightly longer than the slot there, and I will just round the edges of that a little bit later. So my first stage is I'm going to be bonding this piece onto here, and you can see we've got a little bit of clearance around the edge. That is the sort of amount of area that's going to be used for Velcro to hold the cover on. As you can see, I've bonded this bit together. This edge here all the way around will need to be rounded slightly, but I'm leaving it square at the moment to take that to help locate that when I bond that to another section. This has been already shaped, as you can sort of see. That's so it goes there, and that gives us enough clearance to go over the pipe union and things. although this will also be uplifted by the thickness of the mounting velcro, hence this pocket around the edge. So, as Mike Patey would say, back to work. So now that the resin here is partially cured, I'll put that block in and I'll locate that on top, and I'll drill 4 holes into this to help clamp it all together. Then we can go on to the next bit. Okay, so with the holes drilled, I can remove that piece. Just take that out for a second. We'll get this bit. This is a bit of 15-minute epoxy. I'll just smear some of that on the surface there. Not too close to the edge. I'll put a bit of ply in. Put this in where it belongs. Push up from underneath. Nearly settled. Pop that off. Just double check it's settled. So we'll let that bond onto there while that's curing. Shouldn't take too long. I'm just going to round the edges around here. Let's just put a radius around that edge there. I'm not bothering with that edge, it'll address itself as it goes. Don't need to put any edging on that. We'll wait for this to cure. Now all I'm doing is just marking a line on around here. This is going to have a slight taper. So there's a clearance between this plate and this. I want a slight taper for that, but I want it to be a fairly close fit on there, so it goes through nicely. And I'll also bond that on just to make it a little bit stiffer and proud. If you can see, but I've chamfered the edge down, and I've also put a slight rounding on it, and as you can see it's got a different slight colour there. That's because I've soaked this MDF with cyanoacrylate super glue, very thin super glue, so that's just to harden up those edges. So now we're ready. That slips in there fairly tightly, which is great, but it's got clearance around there, which is also great. So the next job for me to do is to get my bits of metal. This is 6061 T6. That's too hard to work with, so I need to turn that into O grade or something close to it, so I am going to anneal it. I will show you my mad method of annealing. There's several ways of doing annealing, and I use the oil method, so I just put a thin coat of oil on here. We'll heat it up and it'll flash, and then I'll quench it fairly rapidly. All we'll do is to just heat it up, keep the thing moving. You'll see it start to vaporise the oil, and hopefully you'll see it flash. You'll see the sheet will start to distort slightly as we do this. It Keep it moving, otherwise you end up with the heat concentrated in one spot. With the aluminium it will just melt. Here's starting to vaporise. There we go, there's a flash there, flash again. One down, one more to go. So now we've got about an hour's working time before the aluminium age hardens, or the aluminium alloy age hardens, so we won't mess around too much. But the first bit I need to do is I need to get this lot clamped together. So get the bolts in, this is. Stick the plate in position. I'll stick this one over the top like that. Tighten down the nuts. Okay, beautiful sunny day, so time to play. And, oh, that's separated, which is not what I normally get. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. That looks like it's formed, complete with my helper. Okay. Mad animal. So you're going to help take the nuts off? Eh? You're help take the nuts off? What's that? My hammer. Leave it alone. Eh? What's that? What's that? Pass inspection? Good enough? Thank you. Yeah? Yeah, we've got to do a bit on the edges yet, haven't we? Yes. Right, okay. So, with the form cut, it still needs to have a little bit of tidying up. This MDF just doesn't produce such a good crease as doing with plywood, so I'm just going to cut out with a set of tin snips, just slightly oversize. Okay, so I've got the things trimmed slightly oversized, not too much so here. Using a comma dolly and a planishing hammer, I'm just going to dress back. This will all need a slight adjustment for the curve at the back edge, so I won't go too far. I'll now file the edges down here to make them nice and smooth, and see what we've got as far as the shape goes. Okay, so all dressed back and sorted out so it fits. They're handed, port and starboard. But I couldn't resist it. I had to give them a bit of a polish, so it fits there. I think you'll see there's no rock, or very little rock, and it's just enough there for it to be lifted up with the Velcro. So there's the end product. Well, two of them ready to go. Ooh. I forgot to say, the little hole that's in there, that's to act as a drain hole should the fuel system leak, so it doesn't just all stay inside the cover there. Just I better mention that. Okay, to answer the inevitable question, how much do the covers weigh? 8¼ grams. So not hugely heavy. Very, very thin. So there we go. Well, that's it for this week. Did a bit more than I anticipated. I've got the wings now turned over, so I can sand in the slight step there, and I'll make up the strip to go around here. and the balsa bits along, fairing bits along the leading edge. Final look around and check to make sure everything is tickety-boo. Final little sand on the top of these just to make sure they match nicely. They look like they do reasonably well. I just need to match those. The bottoms are sorted out just to get the tops done. So not a huge amount, and then they're ready for varnishing. Same as the bottom wings, it's going to be a case of trying to find, it's no good doing it at the moment. The weather outside is stonkingly hot again. Our sort of second quite chunky heat wave, so the temperatures are going to be quite high, and that's not good for the varnish. It won't let it sink in to the wood on that initial coat, and it'll tend to skin up, so it'll create a skin on the surface and slow the drying process down actually, rather than speeding it up as you might think. You end up like a skin forming on top of the varnish, and that stops the thinners from coming out so easily. So it doesn't really speed up the situation. Really want it nice 20, and at the moment my workshop is already at 30, so we're hot. So probably get the balsa bit sorted out, and these sections here, the metal work will come off here, so I can get the varnishing done on these inner bays because that's brush varnish, and I'll do that at night. And we can start thinking about setting up for the fuselage. These can be stowed until such time as I can get out and spray them. So thank you for watching the video. Catch you again next week. Bye now.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. You can subscribe or even hit the little bell notification for future videos. Any comments would be appreciated, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Remember, go fly and feel the sky.